How's it going, guys? We made it. It's Season 4 of the Big Juice Champions League. I'm Josh here with the Salford Swab Blues. We had a really good time last time in Season 3. Had a great team. We got to quarterfinals. So I'm hoping we can do a little bit better this time. Fingers crossed. But without further ado, we're going to look at my new team. I'm really happy with how it's come along. Hopefully we'll see it do well in the next couple of weeks. So let's just go over some quick rules. There's been 1 or 2 changes. So obviously we're in next draft, 16 teams, 14-week season, tiers and points based. Yeah, so all games are best of 3 again, best of 5 for playoffs. It just gives you a chance in case you make a really bad move in game 1. Or you get an unlucky freeze or something. You're not completely ruined for the whole week, yeah? I think it works really nicely. Now, the big thing that's changed is the Terra Captain. So last time, you could only have 1 Pokemon terrestrialize into 1 specific type. But now we have 2 types. So 1 stab type and 1 other that we have to put forward. So we will get to that shortly. And then every Pokemon must hold a different item. No doubling up. So no 6 leftover stall teams. So, a couple of Pokemon things have been banned. And a couple have also been unbanned. So let's just have a quick look at those. Just see how it affects the overall scene. So, Shenpal's been banned. Yeah, absolutely fair enough. This thing caused absolute havoc last season. It's just really hard. Even if you're really prepared for it, it can just run through your team. Very similar thing with Palafin. Actually became the kill leader of the season. So, I think it's deserving of this ban, unfortunately, as well. And then Last Respect as a move. Yeah, so Basculegion and Houndstone really... This move is just... You can build around it really nicely, and then you get a base 300 ghost attack that could just go through people's teams really easily. Very unbalanced, I think. So I'm happy to see that gone. So now on the unbanned list, there's got a few mixed views on this. So the Soldew is back. I think that's pretty good. So Latias has moved down to... No, Latias was in tier 2 anyway. Latios has stayed in tier 1 because of this. I think that's fair. What's happened there? Deoxys speed, no nasty plot. I think this is a good... he's got base 90... I think it's base 90 or 95 of most of his other stats. And just that huge speed stat. I think you can do some cool things with this. I think it's good rocker and stuff. I don't think it's going to break the game bringing it back in. So, all for it. Kieran Black is going to be tough to deal with. I mean, what is there to say about some of these Pokemon? I mean, these are all going to be really powerful Pokemon. We all know what these Pokemon do, to be honest. So, Hooper Unbound without Terror. Kieran Black without Terror as well. Makes sense. Darkrai with no sleep and nasty plots. This thing still gets Calm Mind. So it can still set up. It can still be huge nuisance. You could build around sleep. You can have another Pokemon put something to sleep and then bring in Darkrai and just really take advantage of that. Why do I keep doing that? Mega Kangaskhan without Seismic Toss. Yeah, still very powerful. Definitely good that Seismic Toss is banned. Nagnadel with no nasty plot and terror. Very powerful Pokemon. Tapu Lele, a former agent of mine. I'm not sure why this was banned in the first place. It's a very strong Pokemon. It's a very strong Pokemon. I don't think it's quite broken. But to see it do very well, though. and Urshifu Single Strike. This is the one that I still disagree with this. I think this will get banned after this season. That's my prediction. So, without further ado, here's the team. And we're going to start with the returning agent that I have franchised from Season 3. Great Tusk. This guy just put in the work last time. The offensive utility, defensive utility, one of the best rapid spinners, probably the best rapid spinner in the game. You've got Stealth Rock, you've got that ground fighting coverage with Headlong Rush and Close Combat. You've got Knockoff, Ice Spinner. What doesn't this Pokemon do? Sure, I think where I suffered with it a little bit last season is I didn't have the best sort of specially defensive Pokemon to pair it with. So that's what my first pick wanted to be, and that's what I have gone with. Galarian Slowking. That 110 special defense, regenerator, chilly reception for momentum. This thing can do a lot. This thing can really do a lot. I was testing some stuff out before the draft. Actually had a completely different, not completely different, but a fairly different draft to what I actually ended up picking up. Maybe I'll have to show you that. But this thing can go on the offensive, it can be really bulky, you can put an assault vest on it, and then it just recovers a bit of HP every time it switches out or chilly receptions out. It's going to be a really nice pivot as well. I think it's going to be a great addition to the team. So then, next thing, I was going to draft, my next pick was going to be Hydreigon. And it was round 2 because I'd already franchised Great Tusk, and I kind of wasn't there. I was getting someone else to take my picks for me, and I said to them after that was taken, I said, has anyone taken Dragapult yet? And the answer was no. So Dragapult, quite far into round 2, somehow wasn't drafted yet, despite doing really well last season on Mnaz's team, got to the finals. And now Dragapult is going to be my Terra Captain. So we're going to go with Ghost and Fairy. I think this has a lot of coverage. I think this makes up for the fact that I wasn't able to draft someone like Tapu Lele or Fluttermane or Spectria, which I'd had thoughts about doing the sort of Terra Ghost Fairy with. But here we go. So with Ghost and Fairy Terra, I can do really good physical and special sets with Dragapult. I think I can bring a lot of variance to this Pokemon with this team. You all know what Dragapult does, right? It's one of the best Pokemon in the game. Maybe the best Pokemon in this format. So I'm expecting big things. So then next up, we took Rotom-Heat. We all saw Rotom Fan do some really nice work in the last 4 weeks of our Season 3 once it got picked up. Rotom-Heat is here to do a very similar thing. I figured I might as well get a little bit of an upgrade after last time. So this guy's defensive utility is spreading status, but he can go on the offensive. He's got Overheat. He's going to be a great Volt Switcher. He's just got a lot of really nice moves that I can just customize for my opponent if need be. So then, going to another tier 3 pick, we've got Tinkaton. So Tinkaton is an interesting one. So you got 75 attack, 105 special defense, good speed tier. What makes up for the lackluster attack is you've got 160 power Gigaton Hammer. But also, I don't think this is like, you're not particularly going to use this as the most offensive Pokemon. I don't think, not yet. Because of the amount of utility this Pokemon gets. And that kind of really nice natural bulk and a good speed tier. I think I can do quite a few things with this Pokemon. I'm really looking forward to using it. So then next up, we've got Gastrodon. This is a returning guy from the WBC Season 1. So I have used this in a league before, and I really enjoyed it last time. So I was really eyeing this up as a lower tier, bulky water, good ground type as well. So we've got decent enough bulk. We've got some really nice moves. I believe it's got some entry hazards now. Now that we're in Gen 9, everything got entry hazards. We've got that Storm Drain. Sticky Hood is a good ability as well, if we want to hold on to leftovers or something. Obviously, we're going to go with the West Side. The West Side form, much nicer. But maybe we'll mix it up. So, next up, we picked up Hydreigon. I talked about this earlier. So, actually, in the draft itself, I picked up Tangrowth here. And I swapped it with Hydreigon for another pick that will make a little bit of sense later on. But as I was looking through the team I had, I noticed a few weaknesses I had quite a lot of, and I needed some resistances or immunities to certain types just to balance things out a little bit. So, Hydreigon provides ground immunity, which I really needed at this point, as well as ghost resistance. But, you know, we've got those really nice offensive stats. We've got the amazing coverage Hydreigon has. We've got some utility moves. Again, this is another Pokemon I can do quite a bit with, I think. Like quite a lot of these guys, which is kind of what I wanted. So, after this, I have enough points for 3 tier 5 picks. So, yeah, maybe not ideal. Maybe I'd have more if I hadn't franchised Great Tusk. But I think it was worth it. And I think I got some good value out of that lower tier. So, next pick is Boltund. So, Boltund with 121 speed, 90 attack, but with strong jaw, and all the elemental fangs. I think this guy is just going to fill in some holes wherever I need it. I believe it gets Volt Switch as well. I could be wrong on that. I'm hoping so. You've also got Competitive. That's a decent enough ability too, but I think Strongjaw is going to really be the set to use. Yeah, great speed tier, great coverage. I think it's just going to be... I think this is quite underrated, being in tier 5. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And I'm happy to take it here. So, next up, coming from the Tunbridge Toxapexes, is Sableye. So Sableye did really nicely for Biff last season, being a really good prankster user in the low tiers. You've only got one weakness. Sure, your stats aren't that great, but it doesn't matter when all you really need to use is prankster moves. Prankster Thunder Wave, Encore. You've got Nightshade, so you're not completely passive. I'm gonna have a good time with this guy. I've drafted a few Prankster Mons before, but I never particularly... I used them once or twice, and then it kind of... Because I could be using something that can put a lot more damage output. I think I've drafted Meowstic once or twice before, and it just didn't really do it for me. But I think Sableye is going to change that for lower tier Prankster Mons. So, welcome aboard Sableye. And then the final pick... in tier 5 again, we're going to go with Eldegoss. So, Eldegoss, tier 5 grass type, 90 defense, 120 special defense. Decent enough. HP isn't the best, but I think we can make do. And then it gets Regenerator. So, I kind of weighed up, because I had picked Tangrowth at first, and then I saw this pick, and I figured if I took this at tier 5... and I can do sort of Leech Seed, Giga Drain, regen strats with it, I can pick up something else in tier 2 and maybe get a little more value out of the team. So I think I'm quite happy with that. So obviously I've not gone into too much detail with my team because obviously I don't want to give any secrets away or anything. But my overall thoughts are, yeah, this was a different team to what I was initially planning. Slightly, I was definitely going for the same kind of build strategies, just with slightly different Pokemon. But I think I'm really happy. I'm really happy with Slowking. I'm really happy with Dragapult, and I think the rest of the team is going to complement that really well. So I'm really looking forward to this season. I hope everyone else is too. It's been a pretty short video, but screw it. So thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to games. I hope everyone else is. Have a good time. Wish you all the best.